Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Death Guard datasheet tier list. This army, obviously, is still pretty good, right? But a lot of these units have shifted around in their points cost now because of the
just a little bit. Not too many point changes.
Generally, everything went up, right? And nothing went down. So I honestly think relatively a lot of these units are probably going to stay about the same. But I think there's probably some minor shifts that have moved around.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, let's go ahead and get on into it. So the first unit we're going to talk about today is going to be the Biologus putrifier. This guy's ability is going to be the crit 5 lethals while leading plague marines, and he has the extra OC rule, right?
Yeah, he just has to kill, his unit has to kill like a character or a unit, and he gets plus 6 OC, making him an OC 7 character just walking around for the rest of the game.
Now, mostly that's rather silly because plague marines have very high OC themselves, so they generally don't get out OC'd, but it's cool when it's just him and they're 7 OC.
The funniest thing that I've done with it is I killed a knight, then they killed the entire unit, and it was just him. And it was Lords of Dread, and he's like, oh, well, I have Sticky. And I'm like, cool, I have a 7 OC character. And I walked him onto a point and took it back. And I'm like, this is just oddly relevant here.
Yeah, that's like one of those moments where this should never matter, but it definitely matters right now. This guy is really strong. I think there is no reason not to take him if you're running Plague Marines, especially those 10-man Plague Marine bricks, right?
Yeah.
He's as powerful as like an S tier character, but Plague Marines are not at the top of the meta at the moment.
Yeah, that's the sad part because of how expensive a Plague Marine unit is. Like the 10-man after the Rhino, the character tax, that thing's more expensive than Mortarion.
Yeah, it's a lot of points. I think he slots solidly into A tier though, because crit 5 lethals as an ability baseline is just really good.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like especially with the ability to have rerolls and multiple detachments to just all of your hits and all of your wounds. You're just like, oh, these Plague Marines are hitting you like 4 times with 2 Melt-A-Guns pretty reliably. And all of the blast weapons getting 4 rerolls just because somebody points at it, and all the flamers rerolling their wound rolls. Like this unit with crit 5s and all of the other buffs that the other characters can provide can just like melt something.
Yeah, and there's a combo we'll talk about later with the Plaguecaster that the crit 5 ability is really important because the unit can get crit 5 sustained and lethals, which is a really big combo. So, yeah, I think this is a solid A tier unit.
Yeah, for sure.
Next up, we have the Foul Blightspawn. This guy gives his unit fights first. Once again, this is a Plague Marine leader.
Yeah.
And the other thing, this guy also has an aura that you cannot end in advanced mode when 9 inches of his unit, which is really quite strong.
Or start one.
Yeah,
they can't even run away. So one of the strategies I've done with him is I'll put him with a 5-man and 1 Rhino, another 5-man, another Rhino, and I'll cycle the 10-mans that are staged behind into the Rhinos later. But you basically shotgun them out behind 2 pieces of terrain, and you effectively make a 36-inch line across the table that says you cannot start or end an advance move anywhere in this space. Good luck, Emperor's Children or World Eaters or any melee assault army.
I really like this ability because Death Guard are so slow, right? And being able to tell your opponent that you can't be fast either. You have to move as fast as I. Yeah, you have to move as fast as I do right now.
We're suffering together,
which is quite cool. I really enjoyed running 5 Plague Marines with a Lord of Poxes and a Foul Blightspawn and Champions of Contagion. I have found that that's like a really strong melee unit, as well as like the odd tech of you can't end advances near me, but also mini lone op at the same time. It's just been really good.
And also a lot of the times with the Lord's extra contagion range, if you're playing like the Champions of Contagion, you can switch yourself into a minus movement stance.
That's true.
That will then have a 12-inch aura that could slow down your opponent even more. And then they can't end an advance roll within 9 of you. So it puts your opponent in a very weird spot if they're either trying to run away from you or if they're trying to come towards you, because obviously you hit the wall of 9 inches, and if you're -1 moving them as well, they're kind of like, oh, wait, so even with this, if I'm 12 inches away and it's like let's say it's Terminators or something, they're moving 4 inches, and you're like, oh, I can't advance and charge you anymore with my Gladius Space Marines, and I'm just like, well, this is really shitty.
Yeah, it's really awkward. Also, the Overwatch potential of this guy is really strong because it's like a strength 7 anti-infantry 2-up flamer that's also 2 damage.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like really strong. AP2 as well. So
AP3?
Functionally AP3 as long as they're in the Bumble, right? I like everything about this guy. I think this is another unit that's just technically held down by Plague Marines. He did go up 15 points. He is a little
that
expensive.
Is a big deal.
It is actually a big deal because he was 60. Now he's 75.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still fine, ultimately, at the end of the day. I think he's A.
Yeah, definitely A. Obviously, my hopes and dreams come true and Plague Marines go down in poise, then they all jump up to S tier.
We have to wait at least 6 months for that.
Yeah,
at least 6
so
months.
far.
It's going to be a long time before Death Guard have cooled off enough that they're allowed
after
to be,
the holidays.
They're allowed to be
go.
loved.
Yeah.
Next up, we're going to do the Malignant Plague Caster. His ability is honestly rather uncomplicated. He just gets his unit sustained, and he has a really good flamer.
Yeah.
And he has like this 4-up thing after he shoots that you're technically afflicted, but notably Plague Marines already afflict the things they shoot.
No, he gives a slow. The enhancement in champions make
that's right. That's why I mixed it up.
But he makes exclusively infantry only units
Not even beast.
-2 to move, and I think -2 to charge. And I'm like, either I'm purposely not shooting him at the unit I'm trying to kill, because he does a lot of damage actually. Strength 6, AP 2.
D3.
At D3,
yeah.
At D6 plus 3 shots is like actually good when
it's
you have
a
rerolls
really
and
good
stuff.
profile.
So I don't really want to just waste it at an exclusively infantry unit with the purposes of, I'm not going to kill them, so I'll just slow them.
Yeah, that's like a
what?
nice point and click ability for, say, like Exalted Sorcerers on Disc, the thousands ability. Like, that's kind of easy. You just like tag a random infantry unit. But this guy actually does a lot of damage. So you want him to...
He actually hurts.
He shoots vehicles really well because he can be AP3 ignoring cover in the right contagion. It's D3 damage. It has a good strength value. It's just a really strong flamer. So, like, that part doesn't really matter. You really only care about the sustained on this guy. You combo him with the Biologist Putrifier to get crit 5 sustained lethals on an entire unit. Once again, I think this is an A tier unit that's just held down by Plague Marines.
Yep. Once Plague Marines are good, this guy is good. Absolutely. In the meantime, he is chilling in A, waiting for the Plague Marines to catch up.
Yeah. The Lord of Poxes. I like this guy quite a bit.
This guy claps.
Yeah,
oh my
so
God.
75 points. He has 6 attacks at 8 AP2 for 2 dev wounds. It's not bad. Yep. Functionally AP3, right? Because you're always going to be in -1 save contagion, and he's going to clap whatever he needs to.
Yep.
And he has the mini Lona. Can't be shot outside 18.
And he actually is the only Plague Marine character with an invuln.
That is true. I actually remember.
He's actually the only one with the 4-up.
I remember
invuln.
the first time I looked that up, and I was like, this guy's a 4-up invuln?
Yeah, he's just a Chaos Lord.
Yeah.
The Lord of Poxes is the Chaos Lord for Death Guard.
I like him a lot. I think the real issue is that he just doesn't have a good home. Like, 75 points for the melee beat stick that he is not as many points off as you would like from a Lord of Contagion, right? For 40 points, you get a 2-up res and lead Death Shroud Terminators and sustained lance and 3 damage. And
funnily enough, the biggest complaint I have on this guy, and this is just a me problem, is in the Champions of Contagion, his enhancement is 35 points.
Okay, yeah.
Why is that one 35? Like, don't get me wrong. I understand having 2 auras up exclusively on him the entire game is great. And then if you get Final Ingredient, he technically is...
He can have all 3.
Sending all 3 out there. But first off, you're paying 55 points just in enhancements to get that to work.
Yeah.
And you still need to trigger Final Ingredient, which is its own problem in itself. But why is it 35 points?
35 points is actually way too much.
It really is. There's been so many times I made a champions list and I'm like, I have 30 points. Never mind.
It makes him 110 points.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's way too much. Way too much.
Yeah.
So I think this guy has to end up in B tier, unfortunately, right? Because you're not going to take him over the Plague Caster Putrifier combo. I think a foul blightspawn is going to get taken before this guy is.
Yeah.
I don't think he's bad by any means. It's just those Plague Marine centric builds just aren't there. Right?
No, they're not there right now. And he will only ever be in an exclusively like a melee focused Plague Marine unit.
Yeah, 100%.
The minute you start loading them out with like other guns, the flamers, melt-a-gun, stuff like that, you're kind of like, well, do I really need the melee guy, or would I rather just put guys that make the shooting better?
Exactly. Right. So not a bad unit, I think. You're not wrong if you want to put him in a list. Yeah. Like, he's a good just model. Mm-hmm. Not bad by any means. Just doesn't have a good home. So I think B's is just a totally fine home.
Nope, I agree.
The Plague Surgeon. It's not looking good for this guy.
I read his data sheet when that book first came out, and I'm like, this guy seems cool. And then I actually read it, and I'm like, this guy kind of just lame.
Yeah, so he gets like, what, 4-up crits in melee or something? But only him.
Yeah, only him. I thought it was the unit. I'm like, this guy's cracked. And then I read it again, and I'm like, never mind.
And you would think there's like some really cool dev wound combo or something.
There's just not.
No, it's just 4 2-damage attacks.
He is just a dude.
That's it.
Yeah, just a dude that revives 1 Plague Marine. Or you could spend like another 20 points and revive D3 Plague Marines, which could also mean you still revive 1 Plague Marine.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this one.
Why couldn't he give the unit like a 6-up Feel No Pain?
Yes, that's really what he needs to do,
Yeah.
right? In order to be actually good. I think even a 5-up Feel No Pain would genuinely be fine.
Well, I don't know about that one.
Like with an appropriate points cost, right? An appropriate
fair.
points cost for like a 5-up Feel No Pain would make him a real competitive choice, right? Because then you're deciding, well, do I want to load up on 2 characters and make my unit do like 1 billion points of damage? Or do I then want to bring like a tanky Plague Marine squad or something along those lines? Instead, he just... Resting on 1 Plague Marine is just... It just doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the Tallyman. I actually like this guy quite a bit.
I love this guy. This guy does everything you need him to do for 50 points. Yes, he went up 10, but I don't care. He's still cheaper than Poxwalkers, and I'm just going to put a single 40 mil base on my home objective, sticky it, screen on my back, and passively gain CP throughout the whole game for 50 points.
Screening your home field sometimes is a little awkward for Death Guard, right? Because you really want to only leave 1 Poxwalker unit sometimes on the home field if you have to screen deep strikes, right? In a wide amount of space. And the rest really want to infiltrate and go forward. Or other times where you can end up on like Crucible of Battle, that top corner.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really hard to actually have a unit up there, and the Tallyman is perfectly fine to camp behind the ruined wall. Specifically layout 6 is like kind of what I'm thinking of right there. Is like a really good spot for him. Gives us a good CP generation, because not every list brings the Demon Prince, who really farms the CP.
He's pretty much only relevant in Virulent, I believe.
Yeah, really. So. Sometimes champions, but like not always. It's mostly just Virulent Victorium. I think he's like A, B.
I put him B because his sole purpose is to stand there and get UCP and to more or less just screen your home. Obviously, if you're playing Virulent, he's better at doing that role because you just sticky it on turn 1.
And then you can walk off.
You walk off and properly screen the entire 9 or 6 inch, whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
In other detachments where you don't have free sticky objectives for your entire army, you may want to upgrade them to a Poxwalker unit. And just have that 10-man actually screen it and still touch your home objective because you need to hold it the entire time. But I think overall, like a B is a solid choice for him because...
Yeah, B. I think he's a good unit, but you're not like frothing at the mouth to put him in your list. So
no, if I'm like over by 5 points and he's just there, I'm like, okay, well, I'll just cut him and put like 2 enhancements in or something like that. Like,
right.
Sure.
It's a pretty easy one. So I generally like him. Good ability. Popular in a lot of lists. Good model.
Yeah.
Next up, we'll have the Icon Bearer. This guy goes straight to the pit.
He is in the pit. We kicked him over the Plague Surgeon. He is falling down, and there will be a few more characters to join him down there soon.
It's just +3 contagion range, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't very good.
He's not. And he's still like 45 points.
For like literally a Plague Marine.
Yeah.
Not even a special weapon Plague Marine.
You know, most troop units just have the option of taking an icon that increases their OC. They don't need to pay 45 points to do it.
Yeah.
And take up one of your valuable character slots.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of this in like any way.
Yeah.
There is no reason to ever bring this model. I'm surprised he's still like around as a character.
I'm surprised they didn't just kind of do what they did with Custodes, where they remove him from the character slot and just be like, oh, he's a war gear option. Just put him in there.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's
cool.
what I would have done. So this guy goes straight to the pit. Yeah. Don't ever bring him. Next, we have the Noxious Blightbringer.
Look at that. The Icon Bearer already has a friend in the pit.
Okay. I love this model. Like, this is one of my favorite Death Guard models. Like, he looks so cool, and he has the cool Plague Bell, and like everything about him is really neat. But for some reason, 2 editions in a row, they cannot figure out what to do with this guy. Like, literally have no idea what to do with him.
They let him lead Poxwalkers.
That was a notable change.
There you go.
But I don't know why I would do that.
It gives Poxwalkers enhancements. I guess that is the only reason I could think about it. But like,
what enhancement does he even take?
Nothing relevant.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know that there's anything.
I think
this guy
he could be on the one that gives them deep strike, and you just deep strike him and Poxwalkers, and then you go for a 9-inch charge and make your opponent take a battle shock at -2.
I guess that's the ceiling of this guy.
I guess, and then you still don't kill the unit, and they just kill you back.
That's not a good ceiling to have. It's the pit.
Into the pit with him.
And then let's round out the Plague Marine bodies with the Plague Marines themselves.
Yeah, that seems kind of fitting.
These guys, they're not like bad, but they're not like great either.
They are being held down solely by points.
I think so too. Or maybe it's not even they're being held bound by their points being appropriate. It's more like all our other points are inappropriate.
I think all the points that are directly associated with the Plague Marines are kind of a little bit skewed.
The characters do add up quite a bit.
Very quickly.
Right? Because 5 Plague Marines for what, 95 at the moment?
95 and 10 for 190.
Yeah.
You don't even get a discount for bringing more.
I could see that shift down some.
Yeah.
That is a little bit pricey, especially when every character is basically 75 points now.
Yeah, it's rough.
That's a lot of points to throw into one place.
2 characters is more than a buggy. It's actually the Blight Launcher buggy.
That's true. And the Blight Launcher buggy is definitely better.
Oh, yeah.
I think overall, Plague Marines are a fine unit. If you really want to play them, you can, right? I've been recently doing a lot of trying to make Champions of Contagion work. It's not been going well.
It is a little bit harder to play than Virulent in
it's
Hammer.
It's harder to play, and it has like so much less agency, right? Yeah. That's like the best way to look at it. So when you break down a Plague Marine unit, these guys are generally going to be on a rhino, so they can move functionally 8 inches. They have a threat range of 20 inches on a max range charge, but the realistic average is 15.
Yep.
That's not very far, right? So you have this big unit that you want to bring out. It wants to shoot and charge. That's actually quite important, right? It has to stage pretty far back, notably on GW terrain. You actually can't get really that far up. So units that are slow like this generally just don't charge. Just straight up. They generally just don't get to charge.
Yeah, I found most of the times when you've activated them, it is just you are hoping that you can get them in range of something that is more than their point value.
Yeah, so you can shoot, control a bunch of space, and then get shot at after. It's not a really great place to be in.
Nope.
So I have found that genuinely your opponent has to like choose to let the Death Guard Plague Marines activate. So even when they do get to activate, you're not getting a lot of good value out of it. Because otherwise, I found that they will like literally just sit in their Rhino forever. Yeah. I think on other terrain formats, this unit's a lot more interesting. I think even UKTC has like some more central staging positions they can use Plague Marines. WTC has excellent staging positions for Plague Marines that you can really get into the fight. I think on GW terrain specifically, these guys have a really big struggle of being able to activate.
Really hard. Even like on layout 1, a lot of the times where it's like, this seems like the perfect staging spot for your guys to go. You run into a very big problem of, well, if I put them an inch off the wall and my opponent charges me, just gets around the front and then wraps you because they either charge you from either side of that L, you're then just stuck in the Rhino forever.
Yeah.
You're just stuck there and effectively useless. You can't really shoot your way out effectively with the firing deck too. Now, mind you, if you have the characters that can do it, then sure.
Yeah.
But your opponent did what they wanted. They've trapped you in the Rhino for another turn, in which point they either just kill the Rhino and the Plague Marines inside, or they just do it again.
I have blocked so many Plague Marine Rhinos.
Bro, it is
so
not
it's not
hard.
It's not
really
hard,
not.
Right? And then you're just like, okay, well, I feel like I've won this game now because you can't activate your 400-point unit.
Yeah, it's
right.
Well, there goes that, and you're like, well, I guess I played this wrong, where it's just kind of how every other Rhino activates, and you just can't do what every other Rhino does.
Yeah, so they're like just B. They're not bad, right? Like you can play them. They just have some really big struggles into like higher levels of skill is probably the. I think this is actually kind of a good way to look at it. It's kind of like demons, you know? Like demons are very honest in what they're trying to do. Technically, they have cute little tricks.
Yes.
But the moment your opponent doesn't let you do it, they just walk at you, right? That's ultimately what a demon does. And Plague Marines are like in a similar space of like a 4-up feel no ping, great unclean one. Like it's just like, well, you didn't let me teleport in your backfield. Yeah. So I will just walk directly at you and touch whatever you let me touch.
Yep, that's pretty much the perfect way of putting it. I'm never afraid of the 4-up feel no pain Guo because I am aware of what it does, and it feels the exact same way with Plague Marines. I'm like, I know what that's going to do. I'm just not going to let you do it.
Yeah.
And you're like, can you please let me do that? No.
And like a player may say, well, I mean, it's on you to be able to like force them out and be able to do the thing. But like, that's the unit technically in the list that's supposed to do that.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You actually don't have other units that can force the hand. That's the whole problem with like Death Guard. So the rest of the list is like the tanks and the Poxwalkers and...
Hey man, if someone is going to charge your Poxwalkers with their entire custodian warden brick to eliminate them and go right into the middle of the board, you got it. You were winning that game anyways.
I've B tier for Plague Marines.
Yeah.
Next up, let's get into the Terminator bodies, starting with the Lord of Contagion.
The best
All-star.
Best boy.
Yeah, this guy's really strong. So he gives sustained, and lance when leading Death Shroud Terminators.
And he just stands back up because, why not?
Well, technically, you can lead Blight Lord Terminators too. But, you're putting him with Death Shroud.
I'm just saying, I have led him with Blight Lords, and he has not been bad.
I think that's a merit of his own.
Yes.
And the 2-up res.
Yeah.
And 3 damage.
Yeah.
It's just good.
Pretty good.
I have no issues with this guy at all. There's not a lot of nuance about it. He's just a really, really good beat stick.
And he only went up this many points.
Just
10 if you're not watching the screen.
In case you can't fingers. Yeah. 120? Not bad. Sure. There's the argument with this guy, whether you take a single one or 2. I think you're on 2 at the moment.
I love 2.
I'm generally just on 1 with how I play. Notably, I run Mortarion and Mike doesn't, so we have kind of a fundamental build difference.
We will get to the discussion of Mortarion later.
We'll get to that.
A talking point.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Solve here and now.
I think he's really good. I think he's S tier.
Yeah, 100%. Lords of Contagion are S tier. If you're bringing Death Shroud, you are bringing a Lord of Contagion.
Yeah.
There will effectively be one Death Shroud unit that is 180 or 280 points, not counting enhancements. That will be in pretty much every single list, regardless of what kind of Death Guard you're playing.
100%. Next up, we have the Lord of Virulence. What's cool about this guy, he has multiple uses. So his key ability is he's going to point at something in the shooting phase, and you get reroll hits for all blast weapons, and then all other weapons get reroll 1s.
Super relevant.
Very strong.
Yeah.
Mortarion's Hammer has the enhancement that you can give him that as long as he sees the target, then vehicles within 6 inches of him get a wounds rerolls of 1 aura, which is also really strong. And he gets Lone Op next to a vehicle.
I would argue that enhancement is a little overpowered.
It does a lot, right? Even Lone Op alone, it's really strong with him. Yeah, because you really don't want to have him die, so you don't want him attached to any Terminators and stuff. Just getting repeated value of here's my Lone Op Terminator Lord that gives my armies oath of moments on a stick. It's really good.
Why does it give an aura of reroll 1s to wound?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. It's already good enough as it is. I was going to pay the 20, 25, 30 points, whatever it became after the point changes. I think it's 30 now.
Yeah.
For the Lone Op. If I'm playing Mortarion's Hammer, I am still paying for that enhancement. Because to belligerently be able just to place my guy out into the open with a Plague Burst Crawler 3 inches away behind a wall and just point at something and buff my entire army of indirect while giving it reroll 1s to wound. Sure, I was going to do that without the aura. Why do we need to have the aura attached to this?
I also he has a good Flamer. It's Twinlings. Has a good Plague Fist. 5 attacks. It hits on 2s.
And he has another good ability. Whenever he's joined to a unit, he gives the unit in shooting full rerolls to wound. How many characters just give a unit full rerolls
in shooting?
Yes, to wound. But him in any Blight Lord Terminator build, once they become a little bit more viable and healthier in this meta, he actually is insanely good with them because he can point at something, give them all reroll 1s to hit, and then they give them reroll all of their wound rolls with flamers, dev wound guns, multiple dev wound guns, and blast weapons. And you're just okay. And then depending on the enhancement from which detachment, you can also just give him reroll wound rolls all of the time if you're on an objective.
Oh, Arch Contaminator. Yeah.
Or you spend a CP and you just reroll everything anyways. It's just... Why is this guy so good?
And notably, you can even still attach him to Death Shroud. It's not the most common line for him.
Yeah.
But giving their flamers, because a cool thing you actually can do is rapid ingress Death Shroud Terminators with a Lord of Virulence attached and then have a strong Overwatch immediately after. It's not the most common line, but it's something you can do in the
It's good into things like GSC and a lot of lighter armor.
Yeah, you can flex it, right? Because you can either run him alone. I think he goes in a lot of builds, either with or without Death Shroud Terminators.
I'm pretty sure he's in every single build because pretty sure every build is still running those heavy Blight Launcher
absolutely
drones.
Right.
They're pretty good.
So if you're against Eldar, you're against GSC, you can just throw them with some Death Shroud, and then all of a sudden you blend them in combat and shooting, which is really quite cool, right?
Very good.
Esther?
Yeah, 100%.
Esther.
He's probably, him and the Lord of Contagion are probably the 2 best characters in our book.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Honestly. Next up we have Typhus. Man, this guy didn't really change from the index. I like him.
He's super cool.
I like him. I love Typhus a lot.
They named his Scythe. He is tough to 7 now.
Yeah.
And his
mortal wound ability is the same.
Yeah.
His -1 to hit notably is different because you used to be able to take that contagion that was -1 weapon skill, ballistic skill, and stack it with his -1 to hit. So you could have -2 to hit functionally death threat terminators and melee, which I'll tell you was like a literal nightmare to deal with.
It was amazing. I love doing it.
Yeah.
And it made so many people sad.
So now he doesn't do that anymore. He's kind of pricey at 100 points as compared to a Lord of Contagion and a Lord of Virulence even.
Yeah.
He feels outclassed.
So the problem I have is if I am determined to have a character with my Death Shrouds or Blight Lord Terminators, and I am over 20 points and I have 2 Lords of Contagion, I will drop one of the Lords for Typhus because he still gives the mortal wounds, which is a nice little chip damage.
Yeah.
Or, in retrospect, I could just drop him completely and bring another drone.
Yeah, I'd rather just bring a drone.
Yeah.
That's his problem, right? Like you can just bring a whole drone instead of Typhus.
Yeah.
I think he's D. I think he's like actually.
This is a rough one because like I want to say at least C, but every time I think about an argument to keep him in C, I'm just like, but I could bring a drone. And that is just repeating in my head. It's like, but I could bring a drone.
Maybe he's not as bad as D because the things we put in D are like really bad.
I think,
but he's like a fine model.
You could 100% find niche play for him, and I think that's where I'd realistically put my claim on to C tier.
He's like my little pet, so I'm gonna put him in C.
Yeah, you know what? I'm fine with it.
I just like him. He's a little guy, dude. He's got his little bugs on his back flying around.
You know, in honor of the index, you could.
In honor of the index,
there you go.
In C tier. Yeah, there we go.
Grandfathered in.
Typhus, C tier.
Yep.
Next up, we have Death Shroud Terminators.
S tier.
Yeah, this is a pretty easy button. They hit really hard. They 6-inch deep strike if you're in contagion range. They're 4 wounds now.
Randomly give their character a 4-up, feel no pain, because sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just really good, guys. They're like 3 of them in like every list right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm running 9 of them in my list. You're running, I believe, 6.
I think it's 6 at the moment.
Yeah. And we both still have a lot of stuff in our army to actually make your opponent play the game. And then we just I have 3 delete buttons. You have 2 delete buttons. Mm-hmm. And then we just go and play the game and have to look at my opponent and be like, would you like to play the first 3 turns of this game terrified that you have to screen out Death Shroud for the first half? And if you don't, the Death Shroud just drop in and kill you and you really have no say in the matter?
Yeah, because what's really good about these guys is like they're good with rapiding.
Yeah.
They're good 6-inch deep striking. You can drop them in Overwatch.
Yep.
They're a good heroic because they're so small. Like it's very easy to manipulate them to get a good heroic in. S tier.
They're just so good.
Not much to say other than that. No. Just great. Next up, we have Blight Lord Terminators. Now, this is one I have a hard time rating.
See, I really like this unit, and I really want it to be good.
I feel the same way.
Because they are 185 points for 5. You're never taking the 3-man.
Yeah,
because the 3-man means you only bring a flamer. You don't get their rule unless you attach a character.
Yep.
But for 185 for 5, you get access to a sustained dev wound autocannon, access to an anti-infantry to a flamer, and a 2 damage blast weapon, and then either good bolt guns because they become really good strength and AP, or really good dev wound combi bolters. And when you shoot at anything, you effectively become +1 strength, +2 AP at whatever you shoot at. So all of those things just do a lot of damage, and then in Virulent Victorum, for 1 CP, you reroll everything, and this unit can just do a lot.
Yeah.
And in a very niche scenario, you could put a Lord of Contagion in there, and if they get into combat, they do have Sustain and Lance in melee.
That does make their damage actually a lot better in melee.
I have done it before. They have killed things that I was not expecting them to kill.
Yeah.
They actually killed them on accident, and I was stood there in the open like, I wasn't expecting that thing to die. And
you just
now
like
here
slap
I am.
enough buffs on something, it'll kill stuff, right?
Yes.
That's essentially what that is.
Yeah.
I don't know where to put them. This feels like B.5.
The problem
like between C and B.
I think once Knights have calmed down, Eldar have calmed down, and to a point maybe GSC calmed down, just because I could see them having issues with GSC, but at the same time, if they see a GSC unit, they kill a GSC unit.
Yeah.
Like, that's without question. Once those armies have calmed down and we get into a little bit more of a not vehicle heavy meta, I believe there is a very valuable place for them in certain Death Guard builds. But until that happens, I really don't see them seeing much use, and I put them in C.
I think that might be right.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I've been trying to make them work. I have actually been trying my hardest. I even played Deathlord's Chosen, seeing if maybe that's where their home was. It's not.
It's not there.
But
yeah.
I tried.
C tier, but like sad face C tier.
I'm very disappointed.
Sad face. Next up, we have Chaos Spawn. These are like the middle child.
Yeah, they are. I don't want to have 15 points left over after adding in our Poxwalker unit, but I also don't have 100 points to bring a drone.
Yeah. Because like a drone is better.
A drone is infinitely better.
Right? And Poxwalkers are cheap.
Yeah.
And these guys are neither cheap nor as good as a drone, which leaves me in a very awkward place of like...
They're one of the few things we have that have Scout.
They do have Scout, which
nice.
I like a lot. Their mortal wound ability is cute.
It is
like, it's just cute.
It is funny when you have to explain that rule to somebody.
Yeah. So for context, how this works is you roll a dice for every allocated wound to the Chaos Spawn unit, and off 4-up, they take mortal wounds. Now you would say, well, let's say that they're Beast Snagga boys. Well, I just allocated like 36 attacks to these guys. Huh. Whoa, that's so cool. I get to roll 36 dice. No, you don't. No. It's only successful wounds are allocated attacks.
Yep.
Which does not make a lot of sense, but that is how it technically works. Because you would think allocated attacks are like, I put 36 attacks here. No. By the rules of 40K, only a successful wound is an allocated attack.
Yep. It is a very weird and niche rule, and I'm very glad it's the only one that works this way.
Yeah, it's like functionally grenades at the end of the day, because you should probably get like, say, 6 successful wounds through to a Chaos Spawn. They are T7 notably, so not a lot of profiles can really do that.
Yeah.
And you can like reflect some damage back, which is cool.
Cool little bounce, and especially if they live, you're just like, oh,
they have OC, and they're like tough enough. There are reasons to bring them. Their points cost is a bit awkward. I'm not convinced 80, are they 80 or 85?
They're 80.
Now? I'm not convinced they're 80 at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Like the Thousand Suns ones are 65.
True.
And they have an invuln.
They have an invuln and guarantee heal to full.
And heal to full every time, yeah. I feel like the Thousand Suns ones are like better and
they don't have Scout though. I think that might be where they're valuing
actually.
it.
Scout is a really big deal.
And the 2 extra toughness.
I don't know. This is a tough one.
I think they could be 70 in maybe C play.
I'm going to throw them in C.
Like reliably, but like again, they come into that issue of, well, I have 80 points and I don't want to bring and be down 15 points because I don't have any more enhancements to take.
Yeah.
So
I think it's just C tier.
Yeah.
They just don't have a good home.
Yeah. They're just easily outshined by any of the other things in their similar point range.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So C tier it is for these guys.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Poxwalkers.
Busted.
They're really good, actually.
They're crazy.
Really good.
I was sleeping on them at the beginning of the book. I played 2 games with them, and I'm like, oh, these things are a problem.
Yeah, 65 points for 10 infiltrators with 5 feel no pain.
Yeah.
4, 1 wound. No, they don't do any damage. Like, their damage is entirely fake.
When they do damage, it might be the single funniest interaction you watch.
When you get to res a
40K.
Poxwalker.
Oh, it's so funny.
I love res a Poxwalker, dude.
I've killed a Terminator with them one time.
Turned him straight into a Poxwalker.
I was so hyped up, and my opponent is like, why are you so excited? I'm like, I don't think you understand how impossible this is. Yeah. I killed a Terminator with these Poxwalkers.
Which is ridiculous.
This is crazy.
These guys are excellent trash pieces.
Yeah.
Really good. Every list is going to have 2 to 3. 1 to like screen out the home field against deep strike armies. 1 kind of infiltrates up into your center ruin. And then if you bring 3, you can kind of flex depending on your map mission combo. If you like really go through, there's interesting locations on almost every single map. But it's a different job in many places, which is just fine. I don't think they're S.
I think they're
maybe
solid
they are.
So the problem I have is, if we go by definition of usage, they are 100% an S tier unit. If we go by how valuable they really are compared to the entire army, I'd say they're upper A. But I know for sure in most of my games, I've fallen on 2 units is the perfect amount for me because I like having the tally man in the back. But that's just my personal play style. If you want to play 3, there's literally nothing wrong with that.
I think it's like 2 in Italian man or 3, right? I think that's the difference.
I think that's where you wind up. But they just do so much and they spread contagion so easily. And
especially, I love when one
easy.
guy lives and he just falls back and he's just like, everything's contagion now and I'm going to drop my death shroud on you.
The despair your opponent feels when you say, I'm going to ground with the Poxwalkers and they live. And they're just like, now I have a Poxwalker just running around the board and spreading a 9-inch aura of contagion.
It's bad.
It is very bad for them.
Very bad for your opponent. I think we'll put him in A.
Yeah.
I can see a real argument for S.
Yeah.
I think he's a A tier.
Yeah.
Next up, let's chat about our demon princes. The first one we'll talk about is the winged demon prince. This guy is mostly useless.
You know, with wings, you'd be surprised that he couldn't fly out of the pit, but nope, he's stuck down there.
He's stuck down in the pit.
Doesn't matter if you can fly, you can't leave the pit.
So he charges, makes you take a battle shock test.
A -1.
A -1.
Yeah.
And you immediately become unbattle shocked at the start of your next turn.
Because that is how that works.
It matters for like interrupts and stuff like that. Except like Death Guard and how they interact with other melee armies are already kind of navigating that problem.
Yeah.
Right? Like they have other ways to answer these.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really hit that hard. And he's only T11 compared to the T12. Now I know he's only T11, but only T11. But I don't know. There's no good enhancements for him. Usually for a demon prince to be good, they need a good enhancement. Yeah. Because like it's a good baseline monster, and then it kind of goes to the next level once you slap an enhancement on it. That's been the home of demon princes forever.
Spoiler warning.
Yeah, right. But the winged one doesn't have anything.
No. That's the big problem with him is just that. Like, he doesn't really do much.
And the no lone op either.
Yeah.
Compared to foot demon princes. Yeah, that's like a really big deal. So they get like shot much easier. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like just the pit.
He's in the pit.
Just chuck him in there.
He doesn't do anything. He just goes into the pit and is sad.
Mm-hmm. The foot demon prince.
Now that guy.
All-star. Yeah. Now, notably, there's going to be kind of two rankings for this one because the Virulent Vectorium Demon Prince and all other versions of the Foot Demon Prince are entirely different.
Yes.
So the Virulent Vectorium Demon Prince has an enhancement that gives him a 5-up Feel No Pain.
Mini Mortarion.
Literally mini Mortarion, right? So he's going to be 2-up armor, 4-up invuln, 5-up Feel No Pain.
Yep.
10 wounds, T12.
He is Mortarion with 6 less wounds.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, my favorite thing to do with that guy is, obviously he's still lone up. I walk him into the middle of the board, and I look at my opponent dead in the eyes, and I'm like, now, you may be thinking about killing this guy. And you could. Mm-hmm. But do you think you could kill Mortarion right now? And 9 out of 10 times, they're like, no. And I'm like, cool. You're more than welcome to try to kill him now.
Kill another one.
Yeah, right? Kill one right now. And I think you run him and Mortarion.
I run both, yeah.
And it's just, that just seems horrible.
I like the bully boys running in the middle. That's super
a nightmare.
Because the cool thing you can do, Mortarion and the Demon Prince, is Mortarion has that reactive move on that Demon Prince on top of that lone op ability. Really strong, right? As well as just having a total of, 26 wounds?
Not counting the Feel No Pain math.
4 and 5 Feel No Pain in the middle of the table. Just gross.
Sure. And then while you're doing that, you also have a 12-inch aura of reduced cost strat. So you can either, if they decide, I'm going to target Mortarion, I'm going to target the Demon Prince, if they're somehow in lone op range after the reactive. But you're just like, okay, well, that one's -1 damage now. Good luck. Oh, and they're both in cover. So have fun with that one.
And notably, Death Guard have really good strats.
They have very good strats.
Like really good strats. God. So being able to reduce them is a really big deal.
Yeah.
S tier for Virulent. I think B tier for everything else.
Yeah, I agree. Because I find for his point cost, he's 195.
It's a lot.
It is a rough pill to swallow when he doesn't have the Feel No Pain. Because sometimes you just get shot by a las cannon. It goes through and you're like, I'm down to 3 wounds.
Yeah, I'm like dead.
Yeah, this isn't good. Whereas with the Feel No Pain, you could actually like knock off a few of those wounds.
And Vectorium, he heals.
And he heals.
With the strat.
And have -1 damage.
-1 damage. There's just so many. The Virulent Vectorium Demon Prince is crazy.
Oh, yeah. He is probably my favorite unit to use in that
100%
detachment.
Yep. So in summary, guys, S tier for the Virulent Vectorium one. We're going to put the rest of them in B tier and on to the next.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get into our Death Guard vehicles now.
Yes, sir.
There's going to be a few that we're going to kind of skip to the end on. Land Raiders. The Pit.
Yeah, there's a big Land Raider falling into the pit right now that those Marines are not ready for.
What else goes into the pit? The Defiler?
The Defiler's hot dropping in there with them.
Oh, yeah, because his base.
Yeah.
Pre having to be based, he was fine.
He was a solid D, maybe C tier unit.
Yeah.
The minute you put him on the Soul Grinder Defiler base, this guy is not able to traverse a terrain feature without using the move through walls strat. And give it assault. So to have it actively do anything for your Mortarion's Hammer army, you need to spend 2 CP.
Yeah, so he goes straight to the pit.
He is in the hole.
I don't think any other vehicles are in the pit, though.
The anti-vehicle Predator.
I think he's D.
I think
he's D.
Did you read that thing's rule?
Yeah, So to me, it is still like a las cannon profile, right? And it's notably one of the few ways we have access to las cannons that aren't plague burst crawlers. I guess the difference is there's literally no reason ever to run a land raider and a defiler, but there is a technical argument for why you would bring a predator.
It's 10 more points than a heavy blight launcher drone.
Look, I don't disagree with you.
It's 30 more points than
I just don't think that puts
Malefic blight hauler.
He doesn't go in the pit. He doesn't go in the pit over it.
Fine. Him and the plague surgeon are like
they're
on
watching
the edge.
they're watching everyone else fall into the
while
pit.
Everyone else is ready to Spartan kick him in there. I think he's in the pit, but I will let him stand on the edge, holding on for dear life.
Yeah, on to the next predator, the Chaos Predator Destructor. The Destructor is the anti-infantry guy, and I believe he still has the extra AP against infantry units, right?
Yes, when he targets anything that is not a monster or vehicle, he is effectively a castigator for that phase.
Which is cool.
It's very good.
And then when you stack it on top of the -1 to save contagion, it's basically like AP4.
Yeah.
Which is like a lot.
It's really good. If you're fighting an opponent that does not have an invuln save army, like just normal Space Marines, Guard, things like that, you can just look at their heavy armor and just be like, that will not be here in 30 seconds.
100%. I think he's C, technically.
Yeah.
Right?
He has a purpose.
Like, he has a purpose if the meta shifts into a way that, like, having
a little bit
bunch
more
of
infantry favored.
Yeah, like a bunch of high AP anti-infantry shots is useful. You'd bring a Chaos Predator Destructor. So C tier for this guy.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Next up, we have the Chaos Rhino. Our Rhino's fine.
This guy's good.
Yeah, our Rhino's fine. So he's 80 or 85, somewhere
85 points.
Somewhere on the little more expensive side. His ability is once you shoot something, the units that disembarked get reroll wounds for specifically the shooting phase.
Yes,
I very notably the shooting
end of the
phase.
turn. It would have made me so happy if
the
they
end
got
of turn would have been crazy with this
I would have
guy.
paid 95 points for that.
I would have paid like 100 for that, honestly.
Yeah,
that's a really strong ability.
Even though Plague Marines never get into combat effectively, like, I'll take the chance.
Yeah, I think the actual data sheet of this Rhino is really excellent and is deserving of B tier. I think he's held down. You don't really see a lot of them because Plague Marines, like I've said before, are just not the best pick at the moment. He's definitely not C tier because it's a really real wins.
Oh no, I argue
really
he's
strong.
either B or A.
Yeah, I think he's in B. I don't think he's in A because Plague Marines.
Yeah,
if that may shift around in life.
Once Plague Marines are better, sure.
Yeah,
I could bump the Rhino.
But at the moment, he's just B tier.
Yeah.
Next, we have the Hell Brute. This guy sees like some technical fringe play.
My experience with this Hellbrute is I decided after the data slate came out, I was going to say no guns, just fist. And I brought 2 Hellbrutes with just fist. I proceed to rapid ingress them. They die. And then I pay 1 CP to have them auto explode.
Oh, because that's right. I forget you can do that, actually. Yeah, you can't do that.
And I then look down at the board state. I'm like, I just spent 2 CP to blow up a Hellbrute. Maybe this guy isn't the best.
Not a good deal. I don't mind the Mortarion's Hammer one.
Yeah,
that
him
can
going
go
through walls actually makes him viable.
Yeah.
And is realistically the only way to play it if you're not trolling.
Because they're small, right?
They're small. They're
Like,
on
they
the same
can
size as the Demon Prince.
Yeah, they can like sneak around to a few different places. I don't really totally hate him. I think he is in D tier, though.
I think he's 110.
Yeah, which is actually like another cheap priced haul.
And he does just bop a knight because his rule is whenever he makes an attack targeting an inflicted unit, get +1 to wound. And when you have 2 melee weapons, you get both melee weapons +2 attacks. So that means the hammer, which is realistically where you're going to swing with, is I believe 6 attacks at 12 AP 3 or 4 at D6 +2 damage,
which is not bad.
With +1 to wound, and you're like, well, I'm just going to bonk a knight real quick and move on with my day.
Yeah.
That will just mess up a knight.
I think he's C tier. I think there's like a reason you can bring a Hellbrute.
I think he is C tier, only a Mortarion's Hammer.
Yeah, I think the go through walls.
Anywhere else, I'm dropping him off in the pit. He's just going into that hole with the Land Raider.
Next, we have the Plague Burst Crawler. This took a small nerf in the data slate. Mortarion's Hammer notably was the hardest nerf build of Death Guard. Rightly so. It was the strongest build, right? No argument there.
Yep.
The hard part with Plague Burst Crawlers is outside of Mortarion's Hammer, they're really not worth it by any means because it's like, I don't know, 115 point tank or something now.
Yep.
Whereas in Mortarion's Hammer, they're actually still quite good.
Yeah, they're still very good. And honestly, if you're really committed to bringing Mortarion's Hammer, which is still completely viable,
It's still very viable. It's actually not gone.
makes me a little sad. I wish that playstyle was a little bit gone. I don't like indirect span in an army, let alone my precious Death Guard. You can still run 3 of them. They're effective regardless. They do the same thing they did before. We just have less stuff, which just means you just drop a drone and you're back to where you were doing.
100%. I think they're A tier now. They work S for sure.
Yeah, I think they're A tier. If I'm exclusively a Mortarion's Hammer, everything else a D.
C or D, yeah, because they like really don't do much of anything else, but they're really, really strong Mortarion's Hammer. So I think now these guys have shifted down a tier, just technically because they're a little more expensive. Like cutting that third Plague Burst Crawler becomes like a more actual conversation. Either before like you're never touching the third Plague Burst Crawler.
Yeah.
So A tier for that.
Yeah, I do agree. A tier, exclusively a Mortarion's Hammer. Everywhere else, it's just like, yeah, you could probably just find something better. For one Plague Burst Crawler, you could bring 2 drones.
Yep, I agree. So next is going to be the fetid Bloat drone. This is not going to be the heavy blight launcher. This is going to be specifically the flesh mower as well as the dual flamer one. Currently, I'm kind of favoring the flesh mower.
I love the flesh mowers, and I do see use for the flamers. In my previous list, funnily enough, I actually had 2 flamers, 1 mower, because I liked having the mower to go and just push something. Yeah, and I would rather have the mower charge the dumb chaff unit standing on the middle point than please let these 2d6 flamers kill this thing. Yeah, no 1 damage, terrible amount of shots. Yeah, combination of tank shock in the actual melee, like 95% of the time killed the thing in the middle. Obviously, if your auto pops off, he pops off and you go king. But outside of that, like, yeah, I really do like the mower. And I think in the current meta, it is way more valuable than the flamers.
Yeah, anti-imagery is not a keyword that matters like the most in the world. And the most popular infantry spam armies at the moment are going to be JSC and Eldar, which is the flesh mowers.
Yeah. The only problem that the mower has is it actually has to make a charge.
It just have to meet the charge, right?
Which is realistically the issue of that guy. But it having the ability to fall back, shoot, and charge for both the flamers and the mowers, super relevant. And I really enjoy that because that is basically what I use as my front line in my buggy warranty list. And you basically use that there if you're playing against a melee aggro army. They charge you. You're like, oh no, you touched my drones. If you didn't kill them, then they fall back, shoot, and charge you. And if you did kill them, I have the rest of the drones to shoot you with anyways.
It's just good interrupt too. Yeah, like actually. And when they don't kill it, it's like really punishing.
Oh, it's so funny. But there scans on saves.
Yeah, because they're so fun. Because they're T9, 10 wounds, strip armor, 5 equivalent.
Yep.
And they just do a little bit of everything. They have a big thing with guys too. I am going to put them in A tier. They're the first thing you cut between the drone, Myphitic, heavy blight drone combo, right? So very strong, very good A tier. No problems.
Yep.
Next, we'll do the fetid Bloat drone with heavy blight launcher. So this variant has the 3 damage gun at 36 inches. It's D6 plus 2 blast, 10 to 3, really strong. This is the only reliable long-range shooting we have that is not a flavor spring.
Still bringing 3 of them.
Yeah.
You cannot convince me otherwise.
I'm running 3 in every detachment. You cannot escape this unit. It is very clearly S tier. It is the best vehicle we have. Their 120 is very affordable.
Yeah.
I mean, comparatively, like, you look at Exocrines. How much is an Exocrine? It's like 140, 150. Maybe more, to be honest with you. And this is like a 10-inch flying one on a tiny base with an invuln, right? They're really strong. This is probably going to have a feed birth again. I think these things probably, let's not be too hasty, Michael.
Right, my bad. To be fair, the main reason that I think you have to bring 3 of these still every time is because Death Guard outside of those units don't have actual effective long-range shooting.
They shredded though.
Yeah, so there's nothing stopping your opponent from being like, you're not playing me heavy blight launchers. I'm just going to put my army out in the open in the best spots available, and you can't do anything.
They can full disrespect.
Yeah, they can just 100% disrespect you, and you're just like, well, I hope I can get within 18 to shoot you with a multi-nota. Because that is our next best option outside of your bringing Predators, or Plague Burst Crawlers, which you're like Mortarion's Hammer, and you have a very different game plan altogether.
Yeah. So S tier, excellent. Nothing bad to say about these guys. They unlock an entirely different playstyle for us.
Yes.
Next up, we have the Myphitic Blight Hauler. This guy's really good.
It is time to talk about your buggy's extended warranty. This is the best buggy. I love this buggy. So
this guy went up 10 points, 100 points, +1 to hit, +1 to wound against vehicles and monsters in the shooting phase exclusively. Really good. The crack missiles being long range is quite nice. 18 inches on the mouth is fine. They're functionally AP5. And why are they lethal?
Like, don't get me wrong. I am keeping the lethal hit. I'm not out of principle saying, no, I still have to roll a wound. If I roll that save, it wounded you. We're good.
The first time like somebody told me that they're multi-digital lethal, I was like, there's no way that's lethal. Like there's absolutely no way that profile.
I would have believed the missile was lethal before I, and the Melta was 100%. Like if someone told me the opposite, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. The minute they were like, no, it's the Melta gun, and I'm like, why?
Yeah. So cool. Really strong.
Yep.
Very fast. Just as tough as all the other drones. Big fan of these guys all together. What's cool is you can run them in units of 2 as well. I see that occasionally. I'm more of a 3x1 than I am like a 2x2 on these guys.
A lot of the times when you run them into 2-mans, your opponents have tools that nerf or give you buffs against a specific unit, like with the moment or the Lord of Virulence point, so on and so forth, where they can just be like, oh, you're letting me kill 2 drones at once. Yeah, I'll just do that then.
Exactly. I've run into that so many times with my recent spatial journeys. Like I just like call Oath on the 2-man Blight Hauler. Nice, kill the whole thing.
And it was like, oh, cool. Well, I got rid of 2 instead of you have to call at the moment and you kill 1 and you're like, well, there goes my at the moment. And there's now 2 others sitting over there that I have to deal with somehow.
I vastly prefer the solos. Yes. These guys are awesome. I think S or A. This is like a real.
I think they're solid S because outside of Death Shroud charging something, Plague Marines miraculously getting where they need to go.
Yeah, this is
the drones, they are the only anti-tank we have.
Yeah, and they're the best anti-tank on the ways, right? 85 Melta is like no joke, right? Like it's really good. Yeah, I'm down with that. I think they're S tier. I think they're near the bottom of S tier. Yeah, so I think they're one of the lowest ones, but they're really strong.
If they get hit any other way, I think they go down to A.
Yeah, I can see that. $5 S tier.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we have the Primarch Mortarion. So I run this guy. I like him a lot. You currently don't run him.
I do not run him.
So the thing with Mortarion that I guess I'll talk about what I do like about him. His 3 Primarch abilities I think are really good. Yes, it's a reactive move, a 2-up fight on death. Notably, you pick one of these each turn, so you can have a fight on death on your turn.
Yep.
And you can also use an ability on your opponent's turn. It's really quite cool. Very good. As well as you have a shoot back, which I have used quite a bit.
Oh, is the shoot back? Yeah, actually pretty good.
Like on a Myphitic or heavy blow draws, being able to fire back is really cool. Reactive moving Demon Princes is really cool.
Yep.
2-up fighting Death Shroud is really cool. His melee profile is a lot better than it used to be, right?
It's insane.
It's really strong. He has a 2-inch sweep now, which is quite nice. Wrought Wind is a really good Shaft Killer gun.
Yes.
Really good Shaft Killer gun. I just like everything about him. I think he's a good stat line. I think he's a really good bully piece. I really enjoy how he interacts with the table. You're basically trading for stuff that you want to bring in, right? That's the big difference.
Yes. So the reasons I do not like Mortarion and why I'm not currently running is for the current meta right now, where it is very Knight, Death Guard, Chaos Knight heavy. He is a very easy thing to remove because everyone else is like, I have to fight Knights at some point in my turn. And I must be prepared to kill a Knight at any given moment of the game, which means they will be prepared to kill Mortarion at any given moment of the game. And also with Imperial Knights, when they are currently spamming all of the
Helvirans.
Yeah, the little Helvins that are anti-fly 2+,
which is a big deal to them.
It's huge. And the fact that he is a mandatory flying warlord, that if they kill, you effectively just lose the game because I do not want to fight any Knight army that has a 5-up Feel No Pain all the time.
Yeah, this is like a really rough spot, specifically with Imperial Knights. I do think he's tough enough to tank most of the other options, right? Mortarion is a really hard body shift or requires so many resources that can capitalize on what they had to go for him. But the Imperial Knight problem is that is a very real problem.
Because I've also seen how people can deal with Mortarion because I play the mini Mortarion, which is just the same thing. I don't have flies, so I'm immune to that build of
and load up, right, which is cool.
He does have blown up and that, whereas Morty doesn't have blown up, has fly, it only has 6 more wounds in return, and I've seen how fast my Demon Prince has died in certain games. Like sometimes you just roll back. It just happens. And I don't want to invest 380 points where for 360 I get 3 heavy bot launcher troops.
Yeah, which are already taken those, so it's like not a good comparison, right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying he is that amount of points. That is worth as safe as there, or he's 3 Myphitic Blight Haulers. He's 3 Fed Bloat drones.
Yeah, but I bring all those in him.
6 Death Shroud.
See, that's where I cut. So I cut the last Death Shroud.
So that's the problem I have is in the current meta, I think he can get bullied too easily. And two, commonly, if you're going into a competitive tournament run, like people will have answers for it. So it's not like before Knights and all that kind of updated people are like, well, I'm not really worried about anti-tank that much because there's not really that much running around. I'm worried about Emperor's Children and all this other stuff. Yeah, no, I think we're ready to kill Knights.
Yeah, I think the Death Guard list without Mortarion is technically more stable. Is the way to put it, right? I think Mortarion opens up a little bit of a higher ceiling because he can
push differential way better than my current list. Like your list right now, like number. Yes, your list right now can push differential way better than mine can. But also, if Mortarion dies,
it's a much lower floor.
Yes.
Yeah. If I just like randomly get troll, I had one of my clients actually just tell me this horrible story. Just yesterday, I'm so sad for him. A Vindicator overwatched Mr. Mortarion. He was at 10 wounds, and the Vindicator choked. It happens. This is the problem. Like it's a huge swing. This is a huge swing. Now that the math on that is like insane. Oh, like genuinely insane.
Crazy.
But it is you do open yourself up to that variance when you bring a big Primarch model. Right, that's just like how it goes. I like it. I don't know. I like the risk. It's fun.
Oh, trust me. The minute the anti-tank has calmed down, I'm gonna run Morty again. It's a lot stronger right because he is super good, and I have the cool like Depth Guard one. That's a this guy. That guy's badass.
I think he's A tier. Yeah, I think he actually is a really strong Primarch. I think this guy flies under the radar a little sometimes. Yeah. For 380, this guy, he's 380. Yeah, for 380, this guy is a really strong monster. Like a really strong guy. The meta and as well as the builds just don't lean themselves all the way to him, but he's just like lurking right there under the surface. I think Mortarion's a solid A tier. Yeah, very happy with him. I think that wraps us up.
Yeah, no, I think that kind of captures everything. I think we got everything. We're obviously now ranking the demons because the demons are in their own little...
They're having a little thing. It's like just one detachment there, right? If you could run them as allies and all the detachments, a little bit different. Yeah, end of the day. But the fact that it was in one detachment was just no reason to. Yep. All right, guys. If you want to check out more of our content, we have the War Room. You can check out the link below. It's the warroom.vhx.tv. We have strategy sessions, games. Me and Mike both have a lot of content about Death Guard actually in the War Room right now, as well as gets you access to our Discord, which is a huge competitive community where you can talk to us as individuals inside of it, and as well as the rest of the team. If you'd like to check that out, go to the link. You get a 3-day free trial, and you can subscribe if you'd like to do more. On this video itself, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell us why we're so wrong about our tier list.
Tell us why we're right. You know, sometimes you like that encouragement.
Sometimes you like positive reinforcement, guys. Okay, tell us you're right. You're right. That Lane Raider does belong in the pit, Mike. You're right. I agree. But that's that, guys. We will catch you in the next one, and we hope you have a good rest of your day. Later.